All right, everybody. Looks like we are a go for FMX Riot #1 SoCal with myself, Clint Esposito, and of course Steve Sommerfeld.
You. Yeah, how you going, bud?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm 34 minutes on time. You're 34 minutes late.
Yeah. Well,
I'm ready to go.
I had to go to the shop today, and I did not expect traffic to be the way it was. It was raining a little bit, and it was like I figured an hour and 20 minutes should have been enough because it's
Yeah.
like this morning I probably made it there in 50, and then on the way home it was like an hour and 15 minutes. So I was like,
Oh wow.
no.
Okay. That's okay. I went and bought a bed today, so it felt like I was there for an hour and 15 minutes in traffic just looking at crap. Oh God, it's
Are you
so
excited to
I
sleep on your
hate.
new bed?
Uh, yeah, yeah. I compromised a little bit,
You
because the
didn't.
price was good. So
I
I was like, okay, fuck it, I'll take this one.
was like, you didn't
So
get the one that you can have a hard side and she can have a soft side.
no, because I'm a princess, so I
You
went
want the
on.
soft side.
I went soft as well. So we both got the same. Yeah, no. So no, it'll be good. It's the first bed I've ever bought, brand new. Everything I've had up until now has been secondhand because I'm living the freestyle dream.
Gross. No, I've had some hand-me-down beds for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so
No.
we got it's just SoCal, and I did skip through a little bit, and I my perception of it is that it's several spots in SoCal, whereas the other one is Abu Dhabi, and the other one
Yeah.
is someplace else. So I think the other episodes are like one individual spot, and just being SoCal, and this being the first pilot, they ran around to a couple different spots and filmed. But
Making sure they got like the best footage or the best
yeah,
compounds or the
exactly.
not compounds, but they found the best free ride terrain, I guess.
Right.
But that's cool. That's cool. I love it. So, I guess before we get started though, like we got this footage because we did the last Throwback Thursday, and then Paul Towbleed. This is actually on his thing, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
Towbleed Films.
this is from his account on Vimeo. So yeah, he just
Okay.
sent me links to it and was like, check it out. Which I think a couple of years ago he had said something about this as well, and then
Yeah.
we just stopped doing the live streams or whatever. But yeah, we're back. He offered it again, so we're grateful for that. And I'm excited because, like I said on Instagram, this is my favorite era Twitch, the chip
The
tooth Twitch.
Yeah, that's it. I saw you wrote that. I'm like, I'm not gonna comment on this because I don't know Twitch from a bar of soap. So
I
I was
don't
like,
know him.
you probably know him a little bit more than me.
Yeah, a little bit, not very much at all. But I do have to say, he's always been very cool, and you can tell that the way he does the prank wars with Maddo and all those guys. Doesn't get like he seems like he's cool if you mess with him a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. Awesome, man. No, I'm pumped. This is one of my favorite series. So
And
it'll
I'm
be good to
about to
go back in time.
switch the view. Okay, we already got the view switched, so everybody's gonna be
Cool.
able to see what we're watching. Um,
Awesome.
yeah, this is a dude. There's so many good people in it. They go to good spots. I don't know that I fully. Each one of these is like an hour long. I don't know that I've. I think I saw pieces of them. I don't feel like I've ever sat down and watched them. And just skipping through now, I realize there are a lot of clips from here got into other stuff. I think you know how
Yeah.
that stuff
Yeah. I
kind of
think
works.
so
But
because like I watch these. I've seen them all.
yep,
But it'd be good to go back. Like it's a long time ago since I've watched them, so this is definitely going to be a walk down memory lane.
yeah, for sure. Which is what we're
What we're
striving
all
for
about.
here.
It
Yep,
is Thursday, and we are
we're
throwing
all.
it back.
That's right. We're living in the past because
That's when we were cool,
that's exactly
or when we had a chance of being cool.
right.
Or
When there was a hope still.
yeah, exactly. I live in hope. All right, count us in, man.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
The only other problem is I have to kind of turn the volume down.
Yeah, I turned mine down a little bit.
Come out to the desert, it's not as routine. You're not here to hit a ramp or do a figure eight and hit 3 ramps. You're here to express yourself.
When I go to a contest and you do a circle, it sucks, man. You're so bored of it. I like when there's different jumps and you gotta think like, all right, this jump's a little bit bigger, so I gotta gas it a little more. This one's smaller but steeper. What do I do? Like, that's the whole fun of the sport, is just guessing on if you're gonna make the jump or not.
Hell yeah. So, just so I know, like, so the people at home listening, they can kind of hear the background
Yes.
and stuff?
No rules,
Okay.
no stadium. 8 riders competing over 4
Tess
days in the
Sewell.
deserts of Southern California. Though it's a contest, it's also a gathering that goes back to the roots of the sport. Natural terrain, finding lines, hitting gaps, and being creative. This is not freestyle, but free ride Moto X.
Free ride is just going out in the hills and finding 2 mountains that are big enough to jump together. You gotta be real creative out here. You gotta look at a couple different hills and just be like, well, if I jump from this hill, can I make it to the next hill? How far is it? Like, there's no tape measures out here, there's no ramps. It's like, it's all in your head. That's what it is. Free riding's all in your head. It's out having fun with your boys riding in the hills.
Riot takes place over 2 locations. First, the sand dunes of Glamis, then the mud hills of Ocotillo Wells. This is the backcountry of FMX. There are no trail maps or road signs. As they push each other's limits, the group will have to search out the terrain they wish to conquer.
I just want to go riding.
Kind of like, guys go out and do snowboard trips. They're going from mountain to mountain and hunting down the good pow. We're out here hunting down the good fresh soil.
I love that.
Riding natural terrain requires a much higher skill level. Out here, there are no ramps or groomed
Chocolate
landings,
cake.
and the jumps are anything but consistent.
Whoa.
A lot of people don't know that hitting the ramp becomes secondary, where you know exactly what's going to happen every time when you hit a ramp, and it's all about the trick. On dirt, it's all about the approach, the lip. The lip changes every time, which means there could be holes, there could be ruts. You pick a different line, it pops you different. It takes a lot more skill to ride dirt.
The judging of Riot would be done by the competitors themselves. Each night, videotape would be reviewed. The riders will score each other.
This is like the
and
whole
cast their votes
setup
for the
of
best
everything.
Performance of the day.
We all
thought
know
it was Busty
what we're
Volta.
talking about. We are hitting these jumps all day long, and so you know how difficult or easy it is to do a trick over it or to just clear that jump.
To sit there and watch is one thing, but if you're actually on the bike, you know exactly how hard it is to do what they're doing.
Whoa. Was that Potter?
Oh, I thought it was Gustin that had that crash.
Oh, maybe.
He was talking.
Is the core of the sport.
I was
And the
going and
FMX
Gustin
Riot
talking,
is
so I
a
thought it was
stage
him
to push
crashing.
free riding boundaries
They did wear
to
the
the
same
level.
stuff back then.
Out here,
Sure.
it takes real talent.
It's because of
to bust
militia.
big.
Pretty much the backflip's one of the gnarliest tricks, and then to bring it from
See?
a ramp to the natural
Yes.
terrain, which no one has done yet. I'm gonna be the first one to do just because it's just how I am. I just like to do stuff first and do super gnarly stuff first. So that's why I'm gonna find one of the gnarliest jumps out here and flip it just for you.
Like, it's a big call to say that.
Dude.
And then you got to go back that shit up. Like, obviously,
Versus
we know you've
Mets.
got the skills, but
Yeah, with Mets on tour.
yeah, exactly.
Welcome to the first annual Rush International Off-Road Terrain Competition, the FMX Riot. Today we're in Glamis, California, with 8 riders who are chosen for their natural ability in natural terrain. First up in the crew of 8, riding this team ECC Suzuki, he's from Germany. This is Busty Walter.
Good dog.
You know him as the godfather of freestyle motocross.
Good dog.
He hangs out riding for Red Bull in Zoo York. This is Mr. Mike Metzger. Next up in line, he's riding this Metzger Motorsports machine, also sporting his New York colors. We know him as the Dead King. This is Tyler King.
Whoa.
Busted out a couple of weeks ago at the LG Action Sports Championships. rides for the Metal Militia, and he has his goggles on sideways. This is Derek Garland. The gifted young Metal Militia rider rides for Etnies. Let's see how he's going to do both in the sand here at Glamis and in his native Ocotillo Wells. This
I was going to say, that's got to be Potter with that double grab.
one of the elder statesmen of the Metal Militia. A fearsome sight to any freestyle motocrosser.
Twitch was an elder statesman. He was probably like 20.
And a fearsome sight
Yeah.
here today. You know him as Twitch. This is none other than Jeremy Stenberg. In the black and red flesh gear colors, he knows this Glamis terrain really well. This is Graham Gustin.
Graham.
MTX Audio ride. His first X Games this year. He
Dowdy.
got 8th place. I always say he's riding for the man. Riders for Christ rider, Brian Dowdy. Remember,
There
the
you
only
go.
rule in this game is that there are no ramps.
Oh, shit.
Man, imagine if a ramp turned up at Glamis. Oh my god.
Officially, it's called the Imperial Sand Dunes. But here's a look at the place most referred to as Glamis.
Glamis is probably the best place we could ride a dirt bike. Closest thing you could do to surfing on a motorcycle.
They keep making that echo, and I keep thinking it's audio.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I kept trying to fix my audio, dude.
Yeah, I thought it was coming through. Because I can hear the echo as well.
Yeah, good. Okay. I should have asked you that. Because I'm like, I need to figure out why this is doing this.
Yeah, I can hear the echo. But actually, if I can only hear it when I'm listening on yours, though. Like if I've got mine on now, there's no echo.
No,
But anyway,
it's only
fuck
when
it,
they
let's not
talk.
talk about the.
It's only when
Let's
they
not talk
talk.
about the tech.
Just going for the big gap, fifth tap.
This is like a mix between video and a TV show / contest.
Hit the jumps a lot harder than you would.
Yeah.
Just hit the jumps as fast as your bike goes. Another gear higher and just keep the bike wide open. Just land on the gas, everything's smooth.
Woo!
Hit the jumps a lot harder than you would on dirt.
Yeah, I can hear.
Was
still
that
hear
Mad
the
Mike?
echo. Man, no, that place looks so damn good. I've never ridden there, but it
Glamis
looks
is
awesome.
either go big or go home.
That is Mad Mike. Isn't
Yeah.
it? On the
Yeah, he wasn't in
Cali.
the intro.
It's huge. Go big or go home because it's huge.
so maybe he.
I wish we had counted how many times they played Twitch saying "Go big or go home."
If we did it as a drinking game, I'd be in trouble.
Dude, you'd definitely be in trouble.
So there's one thing that I always found looking at Glamis, like when I watch these guys
First day
here
of ride
and
competition
any
got
other
started
event
early
or
at
any other
Glamis.
time I've watched
Despite windy
sand dunes in
conditions,
America,
the riders were
it just looks like your dunes over there
in search for the
are so much harder than what I rode in Australia.
Well, those ones look pretty soft because they have paddles, and I don't know. They do look kind of hard.
Like-
There are some that are like real powdery. I've never
Yeah.
ridden any super powdery dunes myself.
for the first time in the sand was
I
not about
pretty much only have ridden soft, or at least I thought it was super soft. Like as I'm watching this, like the guys seem to be pretty in control compared to when I was riding. Maybe I was just shit. Which
You know,
is
this
probably
is
very
like
true.
what you feel like you look like. And then what-
Exactly. This is exactly how I thought I was riding, and then I saw the video at the end. I'm like, oh my
Oh,
god, like,
man.
I'm not even close. Like there would be hardly any chance I could have done a heart attack that good when I rode the dunes.
You know, dunes are different as well, depending on if they're even like I did ride some dunes in Oklahoma, and they were cool, and you could jump, but you weren't doing heart attacks off of anything.
Yeah.
You know, and I say that because there was nobody there that could do heart attacks off of it, but I'm pretty confident that nobody would have.
Clint spotted a huge step up and began sizing it up. Metzger announced his presence at Riot
By ripping it.
by completing the feat.
Yeah, exactly.
He goes, oh, I see what you're looking at. Bah.
Twitch just found a good one, but it's on the 250, needs a 4-5.
I'll let him guinea pig it on the 250.
That's so wild. Wait, when was this made? What year?
I don't know. It's pretty old. This is probably Potter going for it. That's my guess.
Conditions are pretty tough right now, so just to hit the jump takes some skill. It's hard to get speed for it going up. It's such a steep hill going up it, to hold your speed going up it.
Must be
Whoa. He almost looped out
2007.
there.
About 06 or 07, I think.
Yeah, that sounds like a good.
The only ones able to master the tricky approach.
Man, I miss, and who'd he say? Is it Potter? It's gotta be Potter.
You got this technical turn down here into some soft sand and then a steep old hill that you have to climb in order to make the whatever 90-foot step up we're trying to jump right now.
That's a pretty decent step up.
Known ominously as the Dead King, Tyler King joined the action as Metzger schooled Stenberg on the technique.
I can't believe Jeremy took this long to jump it.
Yeah, and like I could be wrong, but it looks like you've got a fair bit of room to over jump that.
Yeah, and I feel like even if you came up short, it's soft enough where it's probably not going to be.
This jump's weeded. Time to go find another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. You got to hit them right away, or they
Everybody
get
put
chewed
their
up.
ruts in and then it's
Yeah,
shit.
After
exactly.
combing the dunes for 3 or 4 hours, the group headed back towards the camp, where they found yet another big jump.
But I love this. Look at it. It's like the sun's going down, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh wait, we found another spot. Let's just keep riding."
Nice.
Funny thing is though, like that actually doesn't look overly big, but I bet it feels awesome.
Yeah.
I
I mean, they're getting some pretty big tricks off of it.
Yeah, like it's a bit of a step down.
Yeah, that's probably why they're getting that much like height.
Did you see how close he was to like landing without
Landing.
his feet on the pegs then?
Yeah.
Wow. That could have been disastrous.
Haven't you? I've definitely had my back wheel touch and then my feet touch my pegs.
Oh yeah, but not in sand dunes.
Yeah, that's true.
I've done that far too many times on a ramp, and yeah, man, dunes are. I would like to have my feet back on the pegs for that.
It must not be that hard of a landing because I've definitely jumped some stuff, and when it's hard landings, you got to get way back on, you know, like early so that you could prepare for
You're prepping for it,
Yeah.
exactly. So this is kind of cool. This is. I like this, how they do the rider judging. Sitting there, they're watching the videos, they're judging it.
Metz has got himself a lip in. There's David Butts in the back,
Oh,
next
wow.
next to on the right of Tess. He's basically been at every big contest ever.
Really?
Yeah, he's the starter.
Oh.
Busty, what about you?
Like every X Games, every Red Bull. Maybe not Red Bull, X Fighters.
First saw it,
You first hit it.
and then we were up there talking about it.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I
Said
know
if
who you're
Mike
talking about.
could
Sorry.
make it,
Barely, dude.
so I decided to just pin it.
Whoa.
Just stepping that double can off as much as
It's
he
like,
could.
that was almost like a knack.
Yeah, it looked like he was maybe trying to go double knack or something, but it just ended up into double can.
But it looks scary the way he had to step over his, like over his seat.
Yeah,
How was life with that paddle tire on the back?
It was definitely good. I was pumped that a lot of the other dudes stepped it up.
Yeah, they would have been SOL with no paddle tire.
Fuck. Yeah, that's Todd Potter right there.
Okay, there's
Yeah.
7 lines on your piece
Double
of
grab
paper.
at anything.
That means you
Yeah,
know
big.
over 7
And
guys.
some
The guy
shitty
you like the
dune
most,
devil.
You think had the best day riding goes at the top of your sheet of paper, and whoever you thought didn't quite have the best day goes at the bottom of the sheet of paper. The only rule is you cannot judge yourself.
The 8 riders spent nearly 2 hours watching footage
I
and
did the
absorbing the
best.
action. Only after each judge was satisfied were the votes cast. Would it be Potter's daring double grab, Metzger's 4-stroke domination, Dowdy's dead body, or Twitch's
Nice.
huge whip? Stay tuned as FMX Riot continues.
I love that back then. That was when Metzger's like, you know what? I'm just taking it to 450.
Yeah.
I need just that power and torque and
Metzger,
grip and
METZGER.
Screw it.
I grew up as a free rider. I grew up as a little kid going out to the desert with my grandpa and my dad. And this weekend's really made me feel my roots of where Mike Metzger kind of came from.
It was always a dream to me to come to the places that I know from all the videos and the American magazines I have subscriptions to, and just go riding there with my big idols like Metzger, Twitch, all the real good freeriders. And now I got invited to take part in Riot, and that's a dream come true for me.
It's pretty awesome.
My name's Derek Garland. I'm 19 years old from San Clemente, California. Got into it by just coming out here, Ocotillo Wells for fun, riding with my dad. Just started going off little jumps and trying to do tricks, and then just kept going bigger and bigger.
And Cameron
Got to
Steele,
a
come on.
freestyle
oh
rider.
yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, it's crazy that he's only 19, isn't it?
Yeah, a year ago I was doing demos at redneck motor races and monster truck shows, and now I'm doing IFMAs and X Games.
That's
so
how I knew him.
Definitely turning the corner at the beginning of the year and making more money this year, so life's good.
Graham Gustin, I'm from Costa Mesa, California. I'm 25 years old.
I like Graham.
He was always in
Tyler
like
King, 20
good
years
parts of
old,
movies
San Diego,
too.
California.
Yeah.
I loved watching
Born and
him. I
raised.
think he's
I
Krusty.
like
He was
him. He's a
in
cool
a
Yeah.
lot.
guy. I do whatever I can
And
to
some
help him
militia
out.
stuff, I
He's
think.
had a lot
Yeah.
of bad times riding in his life, you know, like dying at a supercross race.
First lap of my qualifier ended over a triple that had a big lip, had a big rut in it. I lost 60% of my liver.
They do a good job on this of trying to build the characters,
Yeah.
where I feel
Yeah.
like they don't, and I guess that's where the extra time is coming in, but I feel like they don't really do that anymore.
Standards I wasn't supposed to
Yeah,
hit.
exactly right.
Just
I
going
think
through
that's
that
like one
injury
big thing
really
that's
taught me a
missing
lot
right
about
now.
life
Like
and
we just
how I
go
should
straight to
from there.
action,
Yeah.
and yeah, you're watching.
You don't get to
guys-
know anybody, so you don't become a fan. Like the people that follow it, that's the thing. They're not cultivating new fans because nobody's getting to know any of these people, and you just see them do
Exactly.
gnarly things that you can't relate to, and you're like, man.
Yeah, that's it. Like this is a story right here. Like I'm all about Busty being like Busty's kind
Yeah,
of like me.
it's awesome.
Watching my heroes in America and then meeting them. Like that's kind of what I'm getting. His vibes,
And
then you know
Potter-
the young kids like, yeah, I'm coming,
Exactly.
and Potter wanting to go big, and Twitch wanting to be the guy who takes down everybody, and Metz just being like,
we get down.
this is where I grew up, and that's why I'm fucking awesome.
Twitch is a freak. Twitch can just jump on any kind of bike and just naturally tear it up.
This is what I like to ride, is super technical stuff like this, because half the guys you ride with won't come out and hit the jumps. That's why I feel like I got the advantage to come out and just hit super technical jumps and just throw some tricks over it when they're having a hard enough time just getting to the jump. So feel like I got the upper hand this week.
It's sick when Met says that about you. You're like,
I was thinking that when he
if
was saying
Metzger's
that.
saying that this guy, he's got the skills, like, that's cool.
Although I think he might also be really nice, because the one time I was at a show and I was running at this ramp and he goes, "Ah, Clint knows how to ride, he just forgot," or whatever.
Okay, so he's just a good...
I was like, thanks, Matt.
Just trying to build the confidence around here.
I had no idea I was going to end up in third. I'm just lucky to be here. I'm stoked.
Tyler King sitting in third place and in second place after Glamis. And did put a good show on, but obviously not quite enough for the other riders that judged him.
I'm guessing.
Jeremy Twitch Stanberg.
Oh, shit.
Sitting now in second has 7 points. How do you feel your chances are here at Akatia, Twitch?
I feel terrific, dude.
So...
I feel it's going to be a pretty great day today.
I feel like...
Now I noticed when you sent your
Do you feel like Potter beat Metz?
What it said on your judging sheet is
I kind of
day
do.
2 is all me.
That's what it said.
So it's all going to be you today?
I think Metz has to get some bonus points just for hitting shit first.
After day 1 in Glamis, and the tie would be 8 points to Mr. Todd Potter.
There you go, an 8 to Metz.
You know, one of the interesting things is that, you know, Todd gave me a call and said, "Hey, I really think I should be in this contest. I got great natural riding skills, and I think you proved something in Glamis. Skills are there. Akatia is good for you."
I want one of those FMX Riot shirts.
So Todd Potter in first place with 8 points, but tied for first place after day 1 in Glamis. None other than
there you go,
the Godfather, Mike Metzger.
All right, here you go.
Oh, that's scary.
2 guys tied for first means second is not well. Second is actually third.
Right, and fourth.
So, so technically Twitch is in third.
Just gnarly, you know, I ride a 450.
Who was in third? Ah, Tyler King.
A few pounds heavier than these little tiny 250s these guys are on, and I'm just hammering. I'm out there just to get it done, have a good time, and you know, show everyone to step up.
So back then, 450, heavy as a mule, carbureted, just kind of pigs back then, those bikes. So anyway, didn't stop him.
Before we get to the contest action,
well, he still had more
here's an
power.
inside look at this legendary free riding locale.
I love that they've got to show that as well. Like, okay, we're going to change tires.
Akatia Wells
now we're
is
going to
pretty
go
much one of the most ridiculous
Wells.
spots to ride for like natural terrain stuff and just riding in general, just because there's so many mud hills out here.
Akatia, it's probably the best place there is to ride. You could even say it's a Disneyland for motorcycles.
Oh, God. Stop it. That looks so awesome. I don't even think I'd be able to handle most of that.
I know.
It just looks so damn good. Looks like somewhere
Train's
you'd want to
pretty
be
good
for
out
2
here just 'cause
weeks.
it's mud humps that hold up good with ruts and stuff, and there's big doubles and good transitions. It's a weird place. Looks like you're on the moon.
The formations are just perfect for jumping. You got good sized lips, good landings, and you can just go out and be creative and make your own jumps pretty much.
There's always new stuff to find. Kids come out here with shovels and kind of limitless as far as really going out and putting your mind to finding new jumps. You
Cole's
can be
breaking
really
the rules
creative
out
as far as
there
letting
though, building wood
letting your
ramps.
riding express itself.
Have you been to Akatia Wells?
I have not.
No? I wonder how big it actually is. I've never been there
It's big.
either.
People have told me
Well,
it's like
This place was kind of as
a big
more
area.
like an
Okay.
underground spot. Not many people knew about it, and then Krusty 1 came out, and Metzger was totally killing it out here and jumping off cliffs that you didn't really see people charging in any videos before that. And most all videos before that were instructional. There wasn't really that market. And then that came out and created everything.
It's funny,
I wonder
did
if
you
like,
realize
let's say how Tyler says that. I wonder.
they did not let him
Just
say
off the hook,
crusty?
man. There's just so many different things you can do and just jump. Like, it's too much fun. Like, there's not enough time in one day to hit everything. Like,
Yeah, but like I
You
wonder
can
if
ride
it's
all
like,
day.
okay, Krusty
You have to
came
peel your
out,
fingers off, like actually
made
peel
it
them off the
big,
bars, 'cause
and then
it's just so
the
fun.
guys who were going there all the time be like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's like
Pretty
opening up
much
the
love
best
Akatia.
surf
It's one of
spot
the
or
best places
something.
to
Like,
ride.
Right.
everybody turns up and then destroys it, and
Yeah.
Ocotillo Wells,
maybe it gets shut down.
sickest place on the planet.
Obviously, it doesn't, but there's always a possibility when a lot of people go somewhere.
Well, this is one of the few places that's actually like a off-highway vehicle park. I'm pretty sure that's why it's not like shut down. Whereas when it's private land or whatever, that's why too many people going, blows it.
And the riders were fired up and ready for an all-out assault on the mud hills.
So, like when you've got your good spot and then everybody turns up and
Yeah.
there's ruts everywhere, you're waiting all day to get to your favorite jump or something, and everybody's in the way.
Knowing it was going to be an epic
Someone's
day,
driving a
the
buggy in
Riders
front of the
set out as a
landing
group
or
Yeah,
to
whatever
the
it could be.
desert
Like,
and searching out
all those
true
things I can
natural terrain
just
jumps.
picture that for the
Ocotillo
original
would be a new
guys.
arena, testing different skills.
Woo! That was nice.
Oh yeah. That was nice. Just wheeling in.
Yeah, tapping.
Potter throwing down perfect heart attacks. Like the
Look at that landing.
isn't even a landing.
Woo! Is that Graham?
There's like a roll 90 degrees to what the landing is. Like you're landing and then there's a hump right there. Oh yeah, that'll wreck your day. Broken handlebars.
No, I'm on. I got some duct tape. Duct tape will work. Just duct tape them back together. I'll be good to go. I'll be right back.
I broke a set of universal bars.
Crashing comes with the territory.
Man, how is this though? Like, what did we say? Like 05, 06, 07 this was made?
Yeah.
Justin was lucky. He went
Pretty
down
much
hard,
every bike
but
there
his
is a
bike
Honda.
broke most of his
Yeah.
fall.
Oh, yeah.
He would ride
All
back to camp and
CR250s.
try to repair his machine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it was.
To another
Then we
jump.
had to go to Yamaha
This time,
250s.
the gap with a nice steep takeoff. Putter and Busty begin a demonstration of freestyle tricks.
Ew.
I mean, that Suzuki that Busty's on, it's still the same Suzuki. Like,
Yeah.
all they did was put a 450 in that frame, and it's still the exact same thing.
To this date, a backflip on a motorcycle has never been completed.
All right, let's see who does it
Through a
first.
terrain jump.
I think Metz does, doesn't he?
Twitch and Metz both
Yeah, I
have
think
the
it was.
backflip.
I think it was
They're used
Metz.
to throwing them off
I could be
stage
wrong,
with metal ramps.
but there's that,
That one was a
one
little
jump
bit
out
weird.
here at Ocotillo Wells. I think that he did it on.
The backflip ain't no joke, and the thought of crashing races through both of their minds.
Ugh. Jeez.
So this will be the first free ride backflip
Yep.
ever.
Ever.
All right. All right.
On FMX Riot.
Busts big into the FMX.
That's a pretty cool, there it is. Twitch.
There it is. Who was that in the end? I missed it.
Twitch.
Was that Twitch?
Yeah, it's two-stroke.
And has now reset the bar for FMX Riot.
So there you go. Twitch landed the first backflip on a free ride dirt hit.
The lip was super straight up, super kicky at the top. At first, I was like, man, I don't know if I want to flip this. And I was like, I hit it a couple times. I'm like, why not flip it? You know, like it's either now or never. So I just sacked up and went for it. So right when I left the lip, I felt it kicked twice as hard when I went to flip. So I was still wheeling off the lip. And I just felt it like buck me back, but still I kept my rotation, but
Yeah,
not as
pinned
quick
it.
as I thought. And I was upside down, I was just looking, so I just threw my body back. I'm like, I hope I rotate this. And right when I got upside down, I was like, I saw the landing and I started dropping in, so I was like, all right, I got this perfect. So.
Pretty cool to see Twitch flip this smaller gap right behind. Pretty cool. I want to flip sometime on a 450. Maybe might be today. I don't know.
That's wild.
Mike Metzger is not one to be outdone. His competitive nature has kept him on top of the FMX world for years. So, as the other riders ate lunch, Metz took off on a solo mission for an attempt at flipping his
Yikes.
four-stroke
That one looks
CRF
scary.
450.
That's the one I remember. That's the flip I remember. from Metz on that side angle.
Well, and he just wanted to go bigger.
It was big. Like, that was a decent sized jump to be flipping. And poppy as hell.
Oh, apparently it was the same gap, I guess. Yeah, do you see the kick at the top of that thing?
Exactly. Like, it's a super poppy jump.
But look, watch his back and boom, you see that? Like, you got to pull through that thing. And I know dirt, I have flipped dirt a couple times. You, like, got to pull extra hard and rev the shit out of it off the top already.
Yeah.
Let's go find some new jumps, man. To flip.
Though they were there to compete, Metz and Twitch were as happy as two kids who just had their birthdays on Christmas. Riding on the high, they hit the trail for
As happy as two kids that had their birthdays on Christmas. Yeah, I'll give it up for Tess on that one. Happy as a dog with two dicks that day.
That's either really good or extra frustration.
Ah, could be. There you go. Could be. But man, like, look at these hits. They look so damn good.
Yeah, they look fun. Nice. Dude,
And
we're only halfway.
Like, yeah, exactly. True. The funny thing is, like, this series is a long time before, let's say, we're looking at Tyler Berriman's and the Colby's and now Julian and guys who could probably go a lot bigger in terms of tricks compared to what was done back then. Obviously, it's just that we now know what can be done. Imagine taking those guys out there right now.
Well, I think more so, I guess, not necessarily Tyler as much, but I guess Axel, he's flipping and stuff as well. But still, I bet you, I don't know, he is pretty gnarly. I mean, but he hasn't gone out and flipped anything in Ocotillo yet.
Oh. Tom Parsons basically lives out there for half of the year, doesn't he?
Yeah, like fall. But it's like a very specific
massive step down there. Like, so yeah, guys like Tom Parsons who are out there quite a lot, and he's got the experience. This is the thing, like back then, these guys were just jumping them, and it's like, yeah, this is sick to jump, and
I think Metz
more that we now know what can be done.
Yeah.
So everyone steps it up that next level.
True. I mean, I think this shows you, like, I love it when the people that are expected to step up in the time, you know what I mean? When you're supposed to. Like Metz and Twitch and Potter. And it's like, those are the big names at this right now. And the fact that they are throwing down, I mean, Busty's killing it as well. Brian Dowdy's doing really good also, as far as being able to throw tricks and stuff on everything.
That was sick. That was good.
But it's like still Twitch and Metz still step up and...
Yeah, when the time is there, they rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
That was Metz's whole deal. Like, I feel like in the beginning, look at that. I feel like in the beginning when freestyle was more so like, I've never done this before, I'm just going to go for it. Metz was the man.
Yeah.
It would just be like...
I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly,
like,
dude.
Yeah. And that's where I never went there. Like, when I didn't know what was going to happen, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I waited until someone else did it. I went, oh yeah, it's okay. I can do that.
I was in a scenario like this where it was like it was still kind of a, I always waited for contest time or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think, and I was better, I would say probably at technical stuff. I didn't really like just ramp setups.
Which is funny because that's pretty much what everyone has said on this video so far.
Yeah.
Like,
But this
I don't want to turn around to a figure of 8 and hit 3 fucking ramps.
and judge.
But I mean, I'm even more apt to jump gnarlier stuff in the hills than I am ramp-wise or like just straight out course-wise.
Yeah.
So I think everyone's kind of glad we moved over here. You've seen the footage from today, and obviously there was a lot to take in. There was a lot of varied places that everybody went. But you've all had a chance now to review it. One question I want to ask you, Mike, you asked a lot of questions when we were actually viewing the footage. What sort of criteria are you basing your judging on for today?
First thing, it's a free ride. It isn't necessarily just going out and doing tricks off of one jump or doing tricks at all. It's about going out there and hitting as many jumps as you can and riding around and like expressing yourself, not just like hitting one jump after another, you know. Just going out and being a part of.
He's disqualifying people right there.
Graham,
Exactly.
He's disqualifying Dowdy and Busty. He was like, listen, you guys did a lot of tricks, but sorry.
Yeah.
I had fun this trip. It was fun.
You know, props to you. You got back up, got back to camp, changed out the bars, and we're out there later on in the afternoon still riding. So I'm sure that wasn't the easiest thing to do. And people that are sitting watching this have no idea. Okay. This is the point when you're going to have
Who's the other guy there? I don't know who that is.
And judge your fellow riders again. We saw backflips today. We saw Twitch backflip on that camp double. Then we saw Mike backflip on it, and then Mike backflip in the dark. That's a pretty big, pretty bold move, but I don't know how to separate these guys.
Yeah, so again, I think coming back to
quickly learning
riders
how tough
judging
it is
it,
to
at
judge
least the
freeride
best
mode.
thing is
Would
they've
Twitch
all
get the
jumped
vote
it
because
now.
he busted
They
the
know
backflip
what
first?
dirt jumps were the hardest.
go to
They
Metzger
know what
for
you
flipping the
could,
four-stroke?
like maybe
True.
transfer easy. They know
Able
what
to
was
pop.
easy to
He
trick,
seemed
what
able
was
to throw
hard
the
to
double
trick.
grab off anything
And
in
when
sight.
something was maybe just jumping, if it was just a straight jump, they're like, actually that was fucking insane. That could be even harder.
I want to win.
I don't want to go to a contest and get second and third. I want to go to a contest and win just because I know I got the skill to do it. So just put the talent on the bike and do it.
So I wonder, you know, like back then, this was let's say it's a video series. It's almost like a Krusty, but it's a comp, but it's TV. It was, you know, there's no crowd. So your ego in front of a crowd is down. And, you know, that competitive nature is down. But then you've got Twitch saying, I'm out here to fucking win. So you're in the middle of nowhere. Do you still go out there and just throw everything at it to win no matter what?
Yeah, because of the exposure. And because, you know, we're friggin' meatheads.
Went to Todd Potter, which means there's a tie for first.
Tie for first again.
Between Mike Metzger
and Twitch.
Jeremy Stenberg.
How come they keep twitching? Tying.
Oh, wow.
Tied in third place right now. Busty Walter and Tyler King. Then
Whoa.
tied in second place. Who's it going to be? It is Potter and Twitch. First place after day 2. Going into day 3. None other than Mike Metzger. It's a chance for somebody, Todd and Jeremy.
Take the overall win.
Take the man. Go for the overall win on the last day. Jeremy's going to practice right now. Thanks, guys. It was a great day. We'll see you all in the morning, 9 o'clock.
That is awesome. All right, so final day. So we're back at Ocotillo Wells. So I'm guessing what we've seen is 1 day Glamis, 2 days
who were
Ocotillo.
tied for second place. Today the riders headed south to an area of Ocotillo dubbed the Playground. This quarter holds numerous tightly packed mud hills that translate into banks, hips,
Like,
and
how the hell
cliffs,
did this shit get
making
made?
for a fun skate park type riding arena.
It is wild, isn't it?
Like, what happened here? Maybe it's just big piles of dinosaur shit.
Twitch and Potter got things started on this huge kicker.
All right, well, that's better than what I was going to come up with. Like it is. It's
like, what is going on
it
here?
doesn't make sense. How is Okatia Wells built? Giant piles of dinosaur shit.
That's it.
Oh. Metz is just looking so good out there. Like he is just cruising right now.
In his jeans.
In his jeans.
First time I've ever done that jump.
No visor.
Yeah.
Third gear.
That's easier
Like,
than
he
it
does have boots on, but it just looks like he's wearing jeans and like white tennis shoes.
Imagine trying to do those tricks in jeans.
Go look at a couple hits. Go find some other shit.
I guess this is early 2000s, so jeans were baggier.
It looked pretty f***ed up. I looked at it on a couple spots.
I'm gonna go look at it.
Yeah, this makes me excited. I want to go someplace and explore.
Potter hooked up with Garland.
Hell yeah.
And quickly began to session this technical gap jump.
Nice.
And like that is a small gap.
Yeah.
But it would be tech. There's not much room for
Error.
on the throttle. Like you're coming up short or you're just landing
Big and
flat.
vertical,
Simple.
and Metz was determined to somehow turn it into a jump.
Love that.
Jesus.
I was gonna say, like, what's his plan? Does he want to go over it, or did he want to wall ride it? But he's kind of just, yeah, gone over the top.
He's expressing himself.
It's
Definitely
on to the next
doing
jump, and this time Twitch digs the takeoff for a left-hand jig.
Left-hand jig.
All right, here we go.
The left-hand jig. Ooh, nice.
So now this will be the part when you get to free riding to see who has the skills to go left.
Yeah.
And who has the skills
Nice.
to go right.
Look at this.
Oh man, and Metz just ate that up.
Yeah. And greased that landing so hard.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, he's going 180.
And that's how
Damn.
you do it.
Metz is so good for your riding, dude.
Riot had become a two-man battle as Metzger and Twitch dueled it out head-to-head, pushing each other's skill
Oh,
level
foot
higher
planting
and
it.
higher.
I was gonna say, it looks like he was coming in seat bounce and trying to foot plant it.
Yeah.
And then best skills right now. I'm pretty good at doing cliff jumps and foot plants and stuff. And, you know. Let's see what the other riders do.
Metzger won the battle of the hip.
Yes,
but Twitch,
so it
determined
looks
to win
like they're
the war,
going
pushed deeper into the
more on
Agatia
the smaller
backcountry
jumps, but
in
going for
search
all the
of new
technical
terrain.
stuff more.
Yeah.
Like they've kind of ditched the bigger jumps that we've seen.
I think it's just the area that they're in.
Yeah,
Twitch seems like he's a little bit defeated.
yeah, like there's a lot of crashing going on. Like he's obviously trying to find something. He's trying to get that little edge, try and find a jump that nobody else wants
But
to
even
do.
the way he fell and then slid down the thing, I feel like he was just kind of like, damn it.
Thing's sick.
Yeah.
Took a couple of crashes to get it down, but that's what happens when you come out here.
At this point, the others knew that they could not match the riding level of Metzger or Twitch. Yet they continued to ride, hoping to win a vote that would land them in third place.
I feel like if this had happened later in Potter's career,
would like to see that reverse.
He would have won.
it would have been a different story.
But this is the thing, like, even watching it, you're just like, I don't really want to watch that many tricks.
True.
Like, it's sick that you can do it, like,
Yes.
one double heart, done.
I agree, but I like those guys doing the whips and the 180s and that stuff.
Yeah.
Not make it over the top.
Was that Graham Gustin?
I don't know. He's had a rough weekend.
Metzger and Twitch
Yeah.
seem to have reached a new summit.
I ride with Twitch.
Whoa, was that a busty Volta heel clicker step on, step off? Like there was like a 1 meter landing and he
Yeah.
landed on it
There's
and then
only
just bounced
actually a
down.
handful of guys that can step it up like Twitch.
Definitely sick to watch just because like me, Metzger, and Potter just going off, just having fun. It's not like we're like trying to do anything we know we can't do. We're just out here having fun, just doing what we do, ride dirt bikes. I'd be pumped to win. But if not, I know it's gonna be well deserved whoever wins it. So
This is what 3 days of
That
free
was-
riding
yeah,
have come
that
down
was sick.
to. The
That was
final
a
minutes of
poppy
the last
takeoff.
session.
Yeah.
The master and the prodigy, Metzger and Twitch, going head to head, move for move, jump for jump, for a jury of their peers. At this point, the only thing that would stop them was physical exhaustion.
That's true.
They're too
They've
excited.
been riding now 3. I don't know if these were 3 consecutive days.
Yeah.
But at least we know Ocotillo was at least consecutive days.
Yeah.
Like you would be wrecked by that second day, minimum.
Is anybody else doing that weird step up thing? That was sick.
That was a good looking jump.
And his run in with the wheelie.
Yeah, you can just tell like he's just open, free, and easy. Metzger's on it. Twitch is like starting to get a bit tight.
I still think it's just experience. Metz is still older. Twitch is pretty young here still.
Yeah.
That's the end of day 3, session 3 of Riot, and the end.
You know, like again, a couple years later, Twitch.
This is when we're going to find
Yeah.
out what happens. We had two epic battles
Was the
going on.
absolute boss
We had
with that sort of
Twitch
stuff.
and Mr. Potter trying to knock off Mike Metzger at the top of the standings. But just down below those two guys were also Tyler King and Busty Walter, who were tied at the end of last night, and they were going head to head. And what happened today is we saw a lot of Twitch and Metz. You guys were hitting the same jumps. For you, it was all about free riding. It wasn't necessarily about the tricks. It was finding the terrain and really making a statement. You feel you did it today?
Yeah, for sure. I think Twitch and I got our backflips out of the way yesterday, and I think everyone was tired. No, I know I was tired as all hell all day long. I'm still tired.
The past couple of days is where you at riding every day.
Now comes time to vote. This is
Somebody
the
goes,
last
maybe you
vote
shouldn't
to
stay
vote
up
to
till
make it
3.
Riot. This is for the overall. You need to make your votes now. You're going to head on out to the middle of the desert there, and I'm going to bring them out to you and announce who wins the first annual Riot competition. Pens at the ready. Start your voting.
All right, who are you thinking? While they're
It's got to be
doing
Metz.
this? Metz first, Twitch second,
Potter.
Potter third.
Busty. Tyler King, Busty.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe Busty 4. Only because they haven't shown us very much of Tyler.
I was
on
just
that
gonna
second
say
day.
they didn't even really. Those guys, both of them, just clipped in here and there, but they didn't
Yeah.
really show all that much. Especially the last session, they basically showed Twitch, Metz, and Potter.
Yeah, exactly. So that's obviously where we're going.
But
where
I just
we're
think-
directed.
You, the judges, have put your votes
Oh,
in.
here we go.
I've got the overall right here. So without further ado, 8th place with 7 points goes to none other than Mr. Graham Gustin.
Well,
for
he
Graham.
did have some big crashes.
In 7th
He
place,
brought a lot to
This
the
is still
table.
standing.
a total of 9 points. That would be
Oh.
Derek Garland. In
Yeah.
6th place, I think you started off pretty good, but lagged a little bit on the last day. None other than Brian Dowdy.
And he's like
This
18.
was the big competition coming into the day. And the 5th place with 14 points goes to none other than Tyler, the Dead King.
Appreciate it,
There
guys.
you go. So 4th is Busty.
Which means the 4th place in that hard fort battle goes to none other than Germany's Busty Walter. Woo!
Nice. So next Potter,
Three.
Twitch, Metz.
Guys have been battling for a few days. But it all sorted itself out today. Pulled some good tricks. Not good enough for the top 2, but a great showing for Todd Potter.
Right on him, stoked.
That means
He sounded
you guys
stoked,
left
dude.
after the today. I don't know if there's any surprise, but a great effort. Didn't
Tell me
quite
you're
make
not
it on the
stoked
day.
by telling me you're
Second
stoked.
place.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
really hard fighting. Let's hear it for Jeremy Twitch Stanberg. What that means
Look at
is
his face.
7 of you guys judge one guy to be on top, and after 3 days of hard-fought battling, I'm sure he's ready for the rest. Riot champion, Mr. Mike Metzger.
I wanted the
Well
clap.
deserved. Well deserved. Yeah. Now that was
Mike Metzger
That
exits
was
as the
Metzger's.
winner of the inaugural
Yeah, for
FMX
sure.
Riot gathering. But he leaves with much more than just a big check. Riot was about free riding, and free riding is about going out and having fun with your friends, and that is the most important thing we all did this week.
That's
This
right.
test,
Chris.
right?
What action sport
Metzger
you're
didn't
into,
win. Free
get
ride
together with a
won.
few friends, have some fun, and free ride.
Oh, there you go, man. That was awesome. Like, yeah, first ever flip on a free ride jump.
Yeah, happened at this event, which is pretty dope.
Yeah. And I remember that one. I saw that a lot. So that was obviously the second. First one on a 450. And he did it at nighttime.
Dude,
'Cause I
Metz
guess
is
it was gonna be
gnarly.
sick footage. That was smart.
Metz is so gnarly. Like, he's the first one really to be like, just take the flip and be like, I just do this all the time.
Yeah.
Then his first second gear flip, nobody emphasizes this enough. First second gear flip was in a contest, in a rhythm, off of dirt, like
Yeah.
80 feet.
And he had to click coming off the first one
Yeah.
into second.
Yeah.
And there wasn't much time to get ready for it.
Like, how long after was this even? I feel like
This would probably be then like 3 years, maybe.
so. This is my point. The first second gear flip Metz did off of dirt. The next time dirt was flipped was here.
Yeah.
It was years. It was like 2 years.
True, because then
Before
everything was
anybody-
just ramps everywhere.
And nobody flipped dirt again. And then it was this
No.
big deal. But if you remember originally, first second gear flip, long flip was dirt to dirt.
Yeah, yeah. And then to send it out here. So Twitch is on the CR250 two-stroke. Met's now on a 450. Like, obviously not even thinking about it at the time, but I remember it. I remember all this at the time was like, oh, it's going to be so much harder to flip a 450.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Like nobody knew until it was done. Everybody was theory crafting, and then someone had to go do it. And that's what you were saying before. Like Metz was that guy, and Twitch.
Yeah.
Like when the moment was there,
They did not.
they were the ones who stood up and stepped up and did it.
TP
And
as
didn't
well, but I think
Yeah, for sure.
TP was a little more calculated. A little bit
A
more.
little bit more.
A
Maybe
little
a
bit
little
more.
bit more.
I feel
Maybe
like
a little
he
bit more
was-
calculated, but he would take a crash.
He would, for sure. But I think Travis was sneaky calculated because I think he worked on a lot of stuff at home and didn't tell anybody and then came out with a ton of stuff versus
Yeah.
just having like a thing or two. You know what I mean? He would like have a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But like Metz was like the pinnacle of in the early years of like, we don't even have a name for this yet. Like he's just like, I'm going to throw myself off this way and just be like, you know, like freak out during his event.
Yeah, exactly.
And just
And
pull it.
I think probably the best, not the best part, but like one thing that he said during this whole show that like opens up Metz's mind is he's talking about snowboarding. He's
Yeah.
like, this is like going out and getting that fresh pow. That's his version of doing that. He's going out free riding. He grew up doing it. So this is like him in his natural element, I think. That's probably the coolest part about Metz doing this. Like,
Well, it's like
every day is going to be different if you're a free rider.
Yeah.
So you don't train on the same thing every day. You just have to deal with what comes. I think that's cool.
No, that is cool. And I think that was the pushback of the ramp era coming in, right? Right off of the bat, because all these guys, for the most part, you know, like you too, you're same age. I'm sure that you rode tracks when you were young, and then you went and you found hills or whatever you could find to play on. Obviously, we don't have dinosaur shit big enough near us to make jumps
I
or
didn't
whatever.
grow up with that.
Exactly. So like you do other stuff, but my point is that people then after us rode a little bit and then went right to ramps.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think just the pushback was towards that, and being like, we can ride all different types of terrain. That's why we're, you know, I don't know. I guess you always try to disqualify somebody else to be like, well, I'm better because of what, you know, whatever reason. So I guess that was the thing. But I mean,
well, the generation now is okay. We do everything to dirt and metal and mobiles. Oh, these kids on airbags.
Yeah.
So there's pushback that way. And back then it was like they're still doing gnarly shit from a ramp to a dirt landing.
Yeah.
But it was still a pushback on ramps. It's like, no,
exactly.
Go jump dirt.
Exactly.
Motherfucker. Like that's where the skill is.
And
that was the first thing they said at the whole show. Like, this shows more skill.
Yeah.
If you can do this, it shows more skill. That straight away was where they were putting it, and went, not everyone can do this.
And you heard everybody's comments even opening up. Mainly, I would say probably Twitch and Twitch, Mets, and even Deegan, which Deegan wasn't even in this, but they still had an interview with him.
He was sitting in front of all the merch talking about it.
Yeah. So,
that was smart.
but yeah, it was basically like, hey, we're more badass. And now, Imagination did that without making fun of anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
But it's interesting
Imagination
now.
was more like, obviously they've centered it around Tyler. It's Tyler's event, or, you know, that sort of thing. But I do like how he's come in with the cool vibes. Like, you know, it's all the good vibes of just riding with your buddies. And whether it is or not, whether the other 7 guys, girls who are riding feel that way, that's how the video comes across.
Right.
Whereas this video was definitely more about the competition. Okay, Twitch wanted to win. He wanted to go flip something that nobody had ever done before. He's coming to win.
Do you think that's just a different attitude in the sport right now?
I think it might be. I think it might be because, like, I think we all know that everybody's fucking gnarly to even do this shit.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different story to tell as to how they got there.
Here's the other thing,
so,
though. And this
maybe it's a little bit of mutual respect that it's not as competition-y now. I don't know.
Well, now that I think about it, and I think the most recent, like, I think Twitch and Mets wanted to beat the, like, what I'm trying to say is those are the 2 of the best guys then, or the best guy, or one of the best guys being challenged by another guy that's like, I'm going to be the best. Yeah. Versus, I feel like now at, say, Imagination, that's not, it's not like, it's not necessarily like that. But I will say that the last thing that was like that was Colby and Axel.
Yeah.
Where they kind of went back and forth. But again, it's different because those guys didn't really like each other. Versus these guys are like, seem to like each other enough to be kind of cool, but still want to be like, talk a little bit of smack on the other guy and really want to beat them.
Yeah, exactly. You could tell. And because obviously history has then shown that Twitch became, like, it must only be a couple of years after this event, like maybe 1 or 2 years after is when Twitch really exploded. Like, maybe these events were like the catalyst.
But you can
Because
see
Twitch was
that.
kind of that not mid range. He was definitely one of the best,
Yeah.
but he wasn't winning at every single event. But then after this event, he won everything and he dominated.
But I think it's
Like,
almost backwards of what you're saying, whereas just you can see his attitude here in this, where he's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to do the biggest thing. I'm going to
Yeah.
win this. I'm going to show everybody. I want to do the gnarly stuff nobody wants to do. That's what drove him to later become the Twitch that he became, because as a
Yeah.
young kid even, he was like, I want to win. And that's my point, is like the people that are at nobody is at imagination going like, I'm going to stomp all these fools.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, we're having fun, yada yada. But it's also not like, I think if you had straight up contest, Axel, Colby, Tyler, you'd have a different scenario.
That's true. That is true. I I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn here, but I'd probably say one guy, you're probably not going to think of who I'm going to say, one guy who had that attitude definitely a few years ago when he was younger, I feel was Luke Ackerman.
Yeah.
He never said it though.
Is he not like one of the best though?
He is, but he never said it. He never openly went, I'm gonna fucking dominate. I'm gonna do everything. I remember talking with him and he was saying it. He's like, I'm gonna do everything that I can to win. And he did. Like everybody's like, oh my God, that's the biggest 360. And he went and double flipped dirt to dirt. And
we're only hearing these guys on these videos. I agree with that, but I think when you're that driven, I'm not even going to say arrogant or whatever, you know what I mean? Because it can come off like that, but we're in an arena here where guess what? You got to be gnarly and believe you're gnarly and believe you're going to be gnarlier than the other guy in order to be gnarlier than the other guy. Like there's no way around it. So you can
exactly. That's
say
exactly.
it's whatever, but
it's not arrogance. It's just you have to be in that mindset.
Have to, because they're doing crazy ass shit. If you are not like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be the man, you're not going to be the man.
Yeah.
To be the man, you got to beat the man, right? Then you don't know Ric Flair is not big in Germany.
Oh yeah, no, I know Ric Flair. Don't worry. Oh, I know Ric Flair. If we're gonna go for a rumble down WWF, like, oh, I'm there. Don't you worry.
All right. Just making sure.
Hey, that's a throwback Thursday. If we throw up some Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, like, oh, I'm all about that. But
that's funny.
God, that's going back 20 years. But
yeah,
I know what you mean though. Like, think about somebody like Sheeny. Now he is the quiet.
But you can still tell being around him. He's like, even Clinton, even Adelberg. Adelberg's a little bit more vocal, I would say.
Yeah.
About wanting to do well and stuff like that. And Javier, he says that stuff too, and he's very mentally strong, but I would say just the attitude of like, I feel like Javier's chilled a little bit, and this is going a couple of years ago because obviously I haven't really been around Adelberg or him, but at this point, or even Clinton, and this is like the time when Clinton won the world championship. He won the X Fighters. So he's probably chilled out a little bit as well. But my point is, at that period of time, those guys were just like, Sheeny, Adelberg, Clinton were just like, what, who else? Even being around Sherwood.
Oh, yeah.
They're all just like, whatever I need to do. And when you got to events, you could tell in their personality and their demeanor that they were not there to be friends with anybody until after the event was over. They were there for business and to do what they needed to do. And I think our events are more fun and they're going that way, but a little bit of the competitiveness, I feel like, is gone, other than, obviously X Games and stuff like that. But those are also, again, a lot of European guys and Australians versus being, I feel like America right now is kind of like in we're in an interesting place where there's only a couple of guys that are like I think Colby Gort and Banks are the only two that are like, I'm gonna learn all the tricks and really become like a straight freestyle like assassin. And the other guys are like no less talented, but just choosing an alternate route of like free riding and stuff with. Which Raha's an interesting one though, because he still does throw down really hard for contests.
Yeah.
And he's another guy, like we were saying, when it comes time for what is it, quarter pipe, and it's pressure moments, he's the guy.
I'm putting my money on Colby.
I'll put my money on Colby when it's last round. You got 3 more feet you got to get to beat that guy.
Yeah.
I
don't know Colby's background at all. Like I don't know where he's come from or what.
He rode bicycles. Other than that, I don't really know.
Yeah, like I don't know what drives him, but it's like there's something in Colby that drives him harder than everybody else.
Yeah.
It's like, get the hell out of my way. I'm doing what I need to do to win this thing. And that's kind of like watching Mets and Twitch in this a little bit, where they just went, it's happening. Like,
and that's my point, is like, that I feel like right now in the United States, we don't really have a guy that's just like, and that's a big ask. It's the same thing when Twitch said, I'm going to flip the biggest thing. And you were like, whoa, that's a heavy statement. And that's what you,
cool.
But that's what you have to do. But that is very intimidating to have to go to a bunch of people that you respect and you know are going to be gnarly.
Yeah.
And then say something like that and try and throw it down.
And then you got to back it up, knowing where you are and the consequences that could come with what you've just said. Like,
and you're in this realm. A lot of people, I feel like normies or whatever, don't like get it, because you can't talk shit to these guys. Because you say stuff like that, they're calling you out.
Yeah, like if he said it and didn't flip by the end of it, like
been eaten alive,
dude. So much shit on him. It's job done. Like, like he had to do it. Like he said it. He basically talked himself into doing it, and there was no way out.
Yeah, he had to go for it.
Nobody had done it up until that point. Never been done before. That's wild.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll
Carey Hart basically did that by cutting in the back of the Gravity Games 2000. He cut that in and then shoveled it in front of a crowd, and everybody knew where he was going. Like, there was no backing out. Like, Twitch basically did the exact same thing to himself. He's like, I said it. This is happening.
Well, I will say this, and I did a couple stops of the freestylemx.com tour leading into X Games, where I think the one we just watched, because that's the same year Mets did Flip to Flip. 01.
01, yeah.
I think that's when it was. It was one of those Philadelphia ones. So I actually went to X Games because it was in Philadelphia. And I got onto the floor for Best Trick and stuff because Chris Rourke was riding Best Trick and he gave me his credential.
Oh, nice.
Because once he put his gear on, he just rode in. So then I wore his credential in. I went in and hung out for Best Trick and shit. But so I was around these guys. Metz was riding this tour as well. Yeah. And he goes, I'm going to flip second gear. And we're just sitting around at night. And he says that. And I was like, do you think you can do that? And he literally turns to me and goes, I know I can. And right then I was like,
why did you fucking question him?
I was like, why did I question that? But you know what I mean? Like, I right then noticed, I was like, oh,
yeah,
that's the difference. Because this guy is just like, I know I can. I'm doing it. Like, period. End of story.
Exactly. I had a similar kind of thing. I can't remember who it was with. But basically it went along the exact same lines. Like, somebody said something to me. I'm like, you think you could even do that? And I could see the fire in their eyes.
Yeah.
And I feel like it might be Luke. It might have been Luke who said he was going to do something. I'm like, that sounds fucking dumb. And he's like, I'm fucking doing it. And he did it. Like, I remember in that moment just going, don't question when someone says something so nuts that I couldn't predict it.
But that's when you
They've
go.
already thought about it. They're already there. They've done it.
That's when
in
you go,
their head.
oh, that's right. I'm a pussy.
Yeah, exactly.
I just remembered. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. And then half of me thinks, if I was to question it with my B grade ability, have I now put doubt in somebody's mind who was so on it?
See, I don't
and
think...
if something goes wrong, but then on the other hand, I think if they're already mentally at that point that they're going to do it, they're almost going to laugh when like the B grade guy goes, you can't do that. And they're like,
Exactly.
fucking, you just watch me.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, I think that those guys are who they are because when people say that stuff to them, it doesn't faze them at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think that... I mean, even the stuff I've done, even the Harley jump, you know, everybody's like, you can't do that. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, dude, I can jump a Harley straight, bro. Come on.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Exactly.
So,
like, yeah, I think you are right. And it is hard because like I have kind of had to learn in the last few years to really just shut my mouth and just let things play out, because what I might think is easy, somebody else thinks hard, but it's going to be the exact same coming back. Like what I think is hard, they think is easy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, but I think that's also, again, why Free Ride and why this FMX Riot was so ahead of its time, because this was so different. They had to be different. And only a certain amount of guys can do this kind of thing. And that's what makes it cool. And this was made for TV. TV, yeah, it was made for TV. It wasn't actually really a video series. It was made for TV. But I would say what they just did there, you've got a year's, like, this is like Twitch's dream right there.
Yeah.
In social media. There's like a year of social media out of that one clip. Like,
for sure.
That is awesome. You're just like 15, not even that, like 4 seconds. 4-second clip, every jump. That's all sick.
Yeah.
Like, FMX Riot was ahead of its time. Free ride contests in general, really, I think are way cooler now. If I was going to see that, like,
yeah, for
we
sure.
all sit down and watch Imagination. We all want to watch that. That is like one of the biggest things.
I would love to see them go out to Ocotillo now.
Oh, hell yeah.
And do a contest, you know? Like, think about how much free riding has progressed because of this stuff. The guys doing foot plants and stuff like that. And then take them out to someplace like this, a real free ride place where it is about finding stuff. I'm going to put, if he gets in, I'm putting some money on Hillsack.
Oh, yeah.
And if he's riding and wants to, Scranny. And most people don't even know who he is. He was in that Narnia. Bro, I rode with them in Bakersfield, and I just kept going, who the fuck is this? And then I realized it was Scranny, and I'm like, bro, what in the hell? Like, who is this guy? What is going on? I'm like, nobody knows who this guy is, and he shreds. What? Yeah. And Chuck took me up there to ride with them. And let me say, free riding, Hillsack is a maniac.
I love watching him. Like, his clips are so different to everybody else.
And this is before he started mini flipping and stuff, but he was doing like 180 foot plants and stuff like that, and the little jumps and just his style. And I was like, man, these guys are awesome. How does nobody know about these guys?
So then, like, think about that third day that we just watched here on Riot. Imagine someone like Graham Jarvis, or I don't know, like those kind of hard enduro guys, Kai Haza, like those kind of guys who have kind of a little bit different skills. Like Graham Jarvis would be like fucking full foot plant 180 in it, and like he would have made those guys.
Can he jump? I'm sure he probably can.
I'm sure he
But
could.
if he starts doing jumps combined with his other stuff, like we think that Axel Hodges is doing some jumps to nose wheelies.
Yeah.
He'll like jump to nose wheelie to like turn around fakie to swoop backwards out of it again.
It's like a mixture of Axel, Todd Potter, and I don't know what else.
Like BMX
all in one.
Flatland. Like what?
Yeah, like, and so there's guys out there I think that have some really cool skills that would just destroy Okatia now.
Yeah.
Would be cool to go back and do all this again.
I don't know. Here's the
nature
thing.
back. And actually, this was one thing I was thinking when you said it before. Now it's probably a little bit different. Like you said, there's not so much going on in the FMX side. There's Colby, and obviously Adam Jones is still killing it, and Banksy's pushing. And then the guys go on free ride, but free ride is right now is more about social media and building up your career, basically. Free riding, you're still doing gnarly crap, but it's not so much about that competitive nature.
No, and it's at your leisure.
Is it? Yeah, exactly. It's at your leisure.
You can set it up and prep the jumps and then shoot the jump, how many times that day, and then get the right shot at the right angle and then put it up versus being like Metz is following you around and he's about to jump whatever you jump. So
that's it. Like back then, like to do it as a career, let's say.
See, but these guys weren't free riding as a career then. That wasn't a deal. This was building that.
Yeah, that it didn't exist as a career other than, let's say, maybe Graham Gustin as like the Krusty Demons guy. Like he was in a lot of Krusty film shoots.
But
that's
I would
about
still
as close
say,
as you got to being a career.
Yeah. But I would still say
a
that he made his money doing demos. He's not getting paid to go and do these video parts. Maybe he had a sponsorship that would pay him for some. I don't really know, and I do know that the industry is obviously a lot different than it was here. So I know that those opportunities were not over here. So I don't know what the scenario was for him, but like I would highly doubt that he got anything more than exposure out of these videos, which I'm sure helps on a level, but it's not like direct income.
Yeah. It's not like being on YouTube every week with a video and banking your...
Exactly. And that's the other thing funny, because you just said about it, but I bet you there was no purse for this.
I heard Tess say something about, so I don't know, maybe Met's going home with a big check. I didn't see the check.
Nobody
there was no
money.
Check.
If you're giving a lot of money out, guess what? You're like, there's $50,000 on the line. But if there's bragging rights, you're like, he's going home with a check.
Yeah, exactly.
He cashed a check for bragging rights. He was like, thank you.
That's it. I've cashed a lot of those checks for my telephone service providers.
Exactly.
Exposure doesn't pay many bills.
Exactly.
But, God damn, it's like having XP points in World of Tanks or something.
You're like, hey, Verizon, check it out. I was in this magazine. They're like, cool story, bro. You owe $100.
Yeah, that's it. But was it a different time back then? This was definitely a different time, and those guys were like, their career was FMX. Simple, job done.
Dude, that was awesome. I'm pumped. I honestly am just I really loved watching. So in the beginning, my two favorites were Matt's and Carey Hart. Because Carey always had the sickest graphics and his style was real cool. And then Metz was like the opposite. Like he had a cool style, but it was like crazy. He's just going to rise to the occasion, come up with some shit he's never done before, and just like innovate the sport,
Yeah.
So it was cool to watch. And it is funny though, seeing Twitch get beaten by anybody free riding at this point now, knowing how he rides now. You know what I mean? It's like, you're just
That's
like,
it.
wow, young Twitch still was learning.
Yeah. Yeah, he had to go through the steps to become the Twitch
Yeah,
that we know.
exactly.
You know, like
He had to fix his tooth.
that was the worst decision ever. This was way
I
back.
remember when he fixed his tooth, dude. I remember just
Yeah.
being like, it took a while. I was like, I
Yeah.
don't like this Twitch.
No.
He's too
I never thought
polished.
I never thought I was about looks either, but I was like, no, I much prefer that. Like that was free ride and freestyle for me back then. That was Twitch and the
That was
truth. And
Twitch and scummy. Like, they don't care. They're just
yeah.
breaking everything. You know, that was good
Like
times.
yeah, exactly. Like I think you're right though. Like back then, I loved watching Mets just come out of like it's almost like he went radio silent a lot back then, and then he just come out and destroy
Yeah.
everything. Obviously, there was fuck all internet. It's not like he had to make a
Right.
statement or do anything every other day of the week, but it always felt like, okay, big events, the big boys in. Let's see what Mets is
Yeah.
up to. Let's see what we got.
That's what I'm
And then
saying.
like,
That's why these guys are the legends that they are, because they continuously, and this is everybody, you know, Deegan, Twitch, Potter, Metz, all those guys, at Nate Adams, TP. Like, it wasn't one year that they did really well and won a medal. It was like year after year, trick after trick. They're just always were there with something, the best tricks, the newest stuff, like the best
yeah.
video parts. Like, those guys for years just put this stuff out there, and I think that's I don't know, it's cool to go back and watch something like this and see Mets, you know, like, but I didn't remember who won, you know what I mean? So it's like a brand new
Same.
thing, and uh just being like, Kenny, step up and do it. So that was cool.
Yeah, exactly. No, and like I said, I think it's actually kind of cool to see Twitch get second. But
Yeah.
that is
Take that, Twitch.
yeah. I think it is cool because like yeah, we know now.
Yeah.
And I've already said it, but it's like history has shown where these guys have gone. Like those two dudes weren't fucking around. They were the best.
Yep. And even Potter. You know, you could see the guys that were like, I'm coming. You know what I mean? I'm trying my ass off.
Yeah, that's it. And it was like, that's why I was saying, like, maybe this was like the catalyst for Twitch. Like, he went from, fuck, I'm not taking any more seconds. Like,
Yeah.
that when he came out and then he won every event, it was like, that's it. Get out of my way. Like, Twitch is rolling in. Twitch is winning.
Yeah.
If he's at an event, he's winning. But then, remember that one crash where he just went to the moon on that step up? Yeah, he flew very close to the sun that day.
And detonated his legs.
He detonated. Yeah, like he fucking pushed everything. Like it was all or nothing. That was sick. That was a cool video.
Yeah.
So no,
All
I'm gonna say thank you very much to Paul for reminding us and sending the link because that was sick. So we've got two more to go.
2 more weeks. FMX Riot. You're staying up extra late because we had to talk, chat about it after the event done. So now
Hell yeah! I didn't even realize it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, man, we can keep going. I'm just getting warmed up. Let's watch them all. No, I better go to bed.
Go to bed. Save it for next week.
Save it for next week. Man, that was sick.
That was awesome. All right, everybody that watched, I see a couple people on Rumble. Thank you guys for hanging out and watching. And yeah, we're going to keep the retro freestyle motocross coming and talk about, like when's the next event. Probably Night of the Jumps. Or not night. Yeah. That's probably the next freestyle motocross big event.
Yeah, our first one at Night of the Jumps is April, I don't know, 26th or something in Munich. I don't know if there's any competitions before then.
Probably not, I would imagine.
Normally Night of the Jumps kind of starts the season because
Yeah.
like in winter in Europe is kind of when the events get going. So start of the year it's Night of the Jumps, Then it's more like X Pilots, X Knights, X
Exactly.
Games.
We need to try to get coverage of that stuff, like X Knights and X Pilots.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, no, I'll what's the dude's name? Man, I was talking to him actually only like a month ago from X Pilots.
Yeah,
And
we
I
need
think
to try to
next
get
year
that
they've got
footage
like,
so we can go over
I think he's got 12 events, 12 rounds of
All right.
competition.
Fuck,
Yeah.
we need to cover
So,
this.
Yeah. So I'll get onto him and find out exactly when and where. And we're going to
Perfect.
cover it.
I'm sure Mexico, right? He only does them in Mexico.
Mostly, but yeah, I think it's all Mexico. Almost. Anyway.
We'll take a holiday. All right.
I'm up for it. Sweet as, man.
All right,
Awesome.